What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? So I'm just really grateful to see more of you guys here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I saw somebody else who had some pretty wild takes up there in the plaza last week, but yeah, that's a different story. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something that happened before what happened to Charlie Kirk, which I think is kind of a graver issue, to be honest. It's because you've heard about what happened in Colorado, was it? Or,
School shooting?
Yeah, the school shooting. Yeah, I'm somebody that went to a private Catholic school in middle school, and yeah, it's just the thought of that happening to me or any of my friends hurt me really deeply, and the rest of my family. So I just wanted to ask, do you guys think that there's anything we could have done to prevent that? Or
Is this the one where it was a transgender shooter?
Huh? Yeah, it's just, but nothing about transgenders, just school shooters in general. Is there any kind of like legislation that we could put in to ensure the safety of the minors?
Well, we've got to change the culture. The number one way is to change the culture and get it out of people's heads that when you're mad, you take it out on children in school. The other thing is like mental health needs to be fixed up. And part of that is not teaching transgender people who are mentally ill. You know, they always say they're not mentally ill, right? Okay, well, they kill themselves constantly, and that's your primary argument. Obviously, they're mentally ill. Mentally stable people don't kill themselves. So how about we start by not teaching mentally ill people that their mental illness is correct? If somebody was bulimic or anorexic and I was a doctor, I wouldn't give them a dietary plan and tell them to lose weight because they're fat.
But the problem is, there's no way the school could have introduced any of those ideas to the shooter.
The government has to introduce those.
That's exactly my point. The government needs to do something.
Or cultural leaders as well. Number one thing is you got to change the culture.
Yeah, that's true about the culture.
Reject it, right? Because at the end of the day, the reason why we're talking about transgender shooters is because when they go to the schools and they shoot up Catholic schools, they're doing that for a reason. They're targeting Catholic schools for a reason. They are under the impression that Catholics or religious groups are suppressing their ability to exist in America. So the reason why I said reject, because it all comes down to what the media is telling them, what congressional leaders are telling them at the end of the day. If they're affirming their belief that Catholics, Christians, Americans, conservatives are the one that are oppressing their life in America, eventually somebody that is mentally ill is going to do something about that. And unfortunately, we see that happening more and more every time, or by the day. So that's why I say reject. Every chance that you have to reject. Government, I agree with you, there needs to be a solution for this, but we can start off by rejecting all of this.
Do you have any ideas for the government, though?
Mine's a little... Go ahead.
Put doctors who give like gender affirming care to people.
What about
they lose their medical licenses? Number one, first of all.
There is one fiscal policy the left keeps bringing it up that they think could end all of this. Can you guess what it is? Gun control.
Oh yeah. No, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah,
of course.
But I heard there was also a counter argument to that from our side, the right side.
Yeah, there is a counter argument to that. It's that the only thing they want to ban is rifles. You don't ever hear them talking about banning anything else, even though the primary weapon for a mass shooting is a handgun. And furthermore, rifles are the smallest category of homicides that exists. Look at Table 8 of the FBI's Universal Crime Reporting Database. Rifles account for the least homicide of any weapon. Okay, you're more likely to be kicked to death. You're more likely to be hit with a blunt object and killed. You're more likely to be stabbed to death. By 4 times over, you're more likely to be stabbed. Right. So why would our solution to gun violence be, let's ban the least common weapon used to kill people? And furthermore, that's all rifles, including bolt-action single-fire hunting rifles. Right. That number, that homicide figure, I think it's like 230 per year. It includes single-fire bolt-action hunting rifles, which would mean that AR-15s are an even smaller share of that number, right? In some years, you're more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to be shot and killed by a rifle, especially in AR-15s.
I know the media loves to lie about ARs. I know about all that, but when you look at Europe, though, it's just they don't have any kind of gun laws at all because they're not allowed anywhere.
Yeah, you're just doing a lot of stuff like this.
So, what exactly is? Do you think that could work for us the same way it worked for them?
No. Well, first of all, if the United States government comes and tries to take our guns, I guarantee you, and I'm not even calling for this, I'm just stating it as a fact, every rifle collector, every gun collector who comes to people's houses and tries to take their guns is going to either be staring down the barrel of the thing they're coming to take, or they're going to be killed. Guarantee it. Right? If they try to take the guns by force, I guarantee it'll start a civil war. There is no chance in hell that you ban firearms blanketly in this country without a civil war that will undoubtedly be won by the people. Because I guarantee you the military, right? First of all, you try to ban guns, the military is not going to be down with that.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to, and their oath is sworn to the Constitution of the United States. Immediately they're going to side with the people and take the government down.
And you still don't really solve the problem, because at the end of the day, the person who was going to go commit that action is still there. So just because a gun isn't available for them to obtain legally doesn't mean that they're going to stop wanting to.
Illegally,
yeah, exactly.
Contraband, yeah.
So I think the question you were asking, which I have a hard time answering myself always, is what can the schools do? What measures can the schools do to prevent this individuals from happening?
Do you guys?
Yeah, I have a really good solution. So there are however many doors inside the school that you want, but all of them only open from the inside. There is one entrance. At that entrance, there is a metal detector that everybody has to walk through. Or now they even have these machines. I see them a lot at events where it detects specifically guns. It's not a metal detector, right? So it's not going to go off because of your keys. It's specifically looking for firearms, and it's some like really advanced. I don't know what it is, right? So you put one of those at the doorway to every school, and you're safe, right? You can no longer enter the building with a gun. If you do enter the building with a gun, the entire building goes into lockdown.
You don't think there could be some backlash, though, getting the authorities involved with?
I'm sure there'll be backlash, but doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. There was backlash to abolishing slavery.
Right.
All I'm going to say is
that's a good point.
I shouldn't be able. I remember when I was in high school 10 years ago, and I was able to leave lunch through one door and then come back through that exact same door. And every single door in that building was exactly the same way. So if that is happening systemically across America, that is probably a good place that the schools can start at to prevent some of the horrible things like that happening. It's just common sense at the end of the day. What I was meant by struggling with it, and maybe Cam can kind of answer this to both of us, is sometimes we hear the solution is armed teachers. There are armed police officers that are at the school already, right? But what about armed teachers? I don't know. Is that a solution?
Yeah,
I think that's a bit drastic.
I think you know, I kind of support it, but at the same time, it's like I don't want guns.
It shouldn't
in the
be
reach
a
of the children.
requirement, though, right?
It's a solution for this. I wrote a paper on it in high school.
Yo, take it.
Explain it real quick?
Sure.
So my solution in high school, I had to write a paper in my English class, and my English teacher had communist flags around the room and all that kind of crap. So I wrote a paper on it, how to improve the school. What I said is there's lock boxes in every single trained teacher's classroom that are completely locked. The teacher can't even get to them or anything. And then, if there's an actual shooting emergency, the principal has a thumbprint in his office, boop, unlocks all of the guns in an emergency. So in the regular, everyday life, there's no access to the guns whatsoever, but only trained teachers have these lock boxes, and then the principal goes, boop, opens up the lock boxes, and they have access to the guns during an actual emergency or school shooting.
What if I steal his thumb?
Well, that'd be pretty hard but maybe
That's a good
eye
plan.
print, face print, or something, but yeah, that was my